So when I was a medical student, I was a medical student at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. In the final year of my medical school training, I had the opportunity to go to the University of California, San Francisco, where I worked with Helen Emery. So she was one of the original sort of founders of our field, and I got to work with her for an entire month. And so she was inspirational. The second main person I have to call out is my fellowship program director, Rob Sundell, who is at Children's Hospital Boston. The real thing I learned from him is how to connect with pediatric patients and form a connection that is lasting and meaningful.
I've had so many mentors in pediatric rheumatology. I think it takes a village of mentors, and you don't just have one mentor. But I've learned so much from many of them. I think one thing that's really interesting about pediatric rheumatology being a small specialty is that we basically have a family tree, and everybody can trace their mentors back through generations. So you might meet someone and realize you're kind of a third cousin in terms of mentoring, and have learned a lot of the same things from your mentors about how to care for patients, and it just makes it really fun.
Fostering the development of people who have an interest in pediatric rheumatology is critical. That's the only way in which we'll continue to meet the needs of the children who will be developing rheumatic diseases next year, next decade, is to train young people who are coming into our specialty, or influence people earlier in their training to think about pediatric rheumatology. Mentorship is an essential part of how we're going to continue to meet the needs of kids with rheumatic diseases.
Mentorship in rheumatology is very important because I think it also allows you to think about what you want to do in pediatric rheumatology, because there's so much more that you can do. You could create your own niche in advocacy, you can create your own niche in pipeline programs, you could create your own niche in education, you could create your own niche in health disparities work. Like, there's so many ways and things you can do within pediatric rheumatology.
I think the person that you work with does play a role in terms of inspiration, but I think that connection that you have with the person and the inspiration they provide to you is the most important part of a mentee-mentor relationship. I always say to mentees that I meet with, it's okay if they're not sure they want to do research. If they work with me and really enjoy what they do and come out of it feeling inspired, I have done my job well. But I think it's the mentor's job to make sure that the mentees they're working with are feeling fulfilled, also that we're figuring out what each particular person's priorities are so that we can help carve a course that will address each of those versus a course that's preset for everybody, because everybody has a different path, and I think everybody needs help navigating that path.
Mentorship is really important. I think you can help guide people's careers, even if it's not something you're necessarily familiar with, but getting them hooked up with the right people to do what they're interested in.